So we know the issues, we know about energy, we know about the border, we know Joe Biden doesn't know what he's doing. We know all that, we get all that. But why do this? Why do this here tonight with Legacy PAC? Because there's a whole lot of people who have the passion to save this country who need help getting off the ground.
The purpose of Legacy PAC is to save America. That's our mission. That's what we really want to do because America's worth saving.
I am by trade, I'm a cybersecurity engineer. Okay, so this is my first run in politics. We need more conservative Republicans standing up and fighting for the Constitution.
We're an America First PAC, and we want to promote and help our up-and-coming candidates, and we're going to be holding the line for President Trump.
I joined the Army at 17 years old. My first day at my first unit, which was 25th Infantry, was September 10th, 2001. So the next day was 9/11. And I spent about a total of a decade between Iraq and Afghanistan in country. So my country means everything to me. When I realized that if people like myself who don't want to be politicians don't start stepping up and taking these seats, that nothing's going to change, then I said, okay, I'll do it.
Who deserves to lead the people of this country more than those who serve this country? So I'm behind every one of them. So let's make sure we get more veterans into power. I'm all for it.
Remember why you're involved. We have to make sure people remain humble and not engage in self-glorification. You are here for one reason, and that is to save the country. Period. End of story.
And for those candidates who are looking uphill and wondering how, keep your head down, focus on the target, and outwork everybody. And I promise you, you're not gonna lose. You're either gonna win on election night or you change the game on election night. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much, Legacy PAC.
Thank you, Legacy PAC.
Under this administration, they have deliberately opened the border to fundamentally change the fabric of our country.
I'm Jared Craig with Legacy PAC. We are here at Eagle Pass, Texas, to bring attention to the border crisis, to educate the voters, the citizens of the United States, and the candidates running for federal office, the importance of a secure border.
And at Legacy PAC, we want to bring candidates here to the border to see it firsthand, because there is nothing like being here, seeing this. We saw women and children climbing over barbed wire. There is no reason why we cannot secure this border. There is no reason to keep this open. This is not humane. So we need to get Victor and all these other good America First candidates into office.
We at Legacy PAC depend on your donation and support to support these projects. We can't do it without you. So please go on to legacypac.org and show your support.
Hey, it's Kevin Sorbo here. I'm filming a documentary in Israel right now, but I was just in Texas last week and I was speaking with President Trump. And I just want to let you all know that President Trump does love our veterans, so please support our veterans and visit VFAF.org. That's VFAF.org. God bless. Thank you.
Hi, Veterans for America First. It's Kellyanne Conway here in Palm Beach, Florida, saying thank you so much for being on the front lines of freedom. Keep up the great.
Hey folks, it's John Rich here, Veterans for Trump, incredible organization. We love our vets. Without men and women willing to sacrifice and die necessary for our country, we wouldn't have a country. We all know that. Much respect and much love. God bless you.
Thank you so much. That is wonderful. And thanks for all you guys do. You're amazing. It's wonderful to be a part of this Veterans for Trump family. So keep staying strong. We have a country to save.
I'm Lieutenant General Michael T. Flynn, and I am Veterans for Trump.
And Stan, where's Stan? Stan is with Veterans for Trump.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you all. We're honored. I know there are so many organizations represented here today.
And thank you so much to Stan Fitzgerald. Where is he? There he is. Thank you so much. You are a great patriot. Thank you both. Thank you both for helping out. You're so supportive, not only for people like me, President Trump and for America First and MAGA. So God bless you. Thank you.
You're sitting here too much. But you're going to do very well. And I just had somebody write down, first of all, James and Sarah Pritchard, thank you very much. Yes. Great job. Thank you. We appreciate all the help. Stanley and Donna Fitzgerald.
Right here, sir.
Thank you very much. It's great. It's great that you're with us. Mike Acton.
Hi, this is Stan Fitzgerald with Veterans for Trump, and I'm here with Colonel, who's also Senator, Ron Rabin in North Carolina. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Fine. How you doing?
Good, sir. Thank you for spending some time with us today. The Colonel's going to be joining our National Veterans Organization as an ambassador, and we're blessed to have him. He's been a longtime Trump supporter, and we're going to get into a little bit about getting to know him for our organization. Senator, could you tell us, please, a little bit about your military background?
Sure. Entered military active duty May 1956, second lieutenant of infantry, went to the Benning School for Boys. Returned there many times, went through all of the education programs the Army had, including the National War College when I was a lieutenant colonel, and then was promoted to colonel after that. 2 combat tours in Vietnam with leg units, 1 tour as an 8 detachment commander downrange in Laos with special forces. So I've got the Airborne Ranger and SF qualification tabs. I've got several decorations. The top end is Silver Star, 4 Legions of Merit, and 3 Bronze Stars, air medals, and a couple things that were the ones that everybody got. I was privileged to be, I guess, the highlight. Commanded a battalion in Vietnam, my second tour, 1st Battalion, 22nd Infantry, regulars by God, and then came back and started up into the other part of the Army world. One of the other highlights was being director of the Command Staff and Leadership Department at Fort Benning, Georgia. Retired in 1980. My first day as a civilian was April Fool's Day, 1980. Probably the biggest mistake I ever made, but there you are. I don't know what else would be of interest. I mean,
that's probably the day you decided to get
things. Huh?
That's probably the day you decided to get involved in politics.
No, I never ever thought that I would be involved in politics. That's an interesting story, really. Mona, my wife, and I were sitting home watching TV one night about 9 o'clock. This was 10 days before the deadline for signing up to run for office. And until that moment when the door knock came, I never, ever thought that I'd get involved in politics. A couple of people came in that I knew, and they asked if I'd run. It was a new district, open seat, and all of that kind of stuff. And the party, quite honestly, didn't like the candidates that they had. So they asked if I'd run. And I looked at my wife and I said, "What do you think?" And she said, "Why not, if you want to." And that's how I opened that door into the world of politics. I won't say that I ever became a political thinker. I'm really a military thinker. And that's probably why after 3 terms I decided to retire. There wasn't any way to reconcile a mindset that says we ought to solve problems rather than kick them down the road and play whack-a-mole with every problem that you got.
Yeah.
I think the best example, we just had or one of the good examples, we just had one of the ongoing, the protest du jour that's going on with regard to I can't imagine anybody going through I can imagine it, going through our education system and being pro-Hamas, okay, a terrorist organization who has vowed to kill America, and these yo-yos are getting brainwashed by the academicians, and they go out on these brainless protests. I don't think they know what they're talking about. Anyhow, sometime late in my first or early in my second term, I tried to get a bill in that would have had a plan begun to get ideological diversity back in the classroom at North Carolina University System. That stayed in the in basket at the bottom of the line of the rules chair forever. But I have to ask, had we done that, this was 8 years ago, had we begun then, would we be having these protests now? We have become a brainwashed, our kids have become a brainwashed nation. Revisionist historians have fed them the nonsense. I almost used an expletive, deleted there.
That's okay.
But they fed them the nonsense that this is not a great country. And they believe it. They have no frame of reference. You know, it's an open slate when they get into that level, and then they're browbeaten into that kind of stuff. And then you compile that with political correctness, the woke nonsense. I mean, if you really want to get me started, ask me about a woke army, and I'll tell you in a heartbeat it ain't going to work. Okay.
Well, please
I've been on the
into this a
battlefield a
little
couple
bit.
of I've been on the battlefield a couple of times, and I will tell you in a heartbeat that one of the core elements outside of rigid training and doing what you're supposed to do is discipline. And there is no discipline that counts other than self-discipline. I go out to Fort Bragg 2 or 3 times a week, most times, maybe once a week, 4 times a month. And I can tell you in a heartbeat through my professional eyes that this is not good, what we got going on. They had to be building bigger parachutes for some of the wide bellies I've seen out there trying to put on a parachute. Okay, and not to mention, nobody salutes. All of these things are important to the culture and fabric of fighting a war. People forget that the object of the military is to fight wars and win them so that we stay free in an open society. It ain't anything else. We haven't been, in my opinion, in a real war because of political issues, geopolitical and political, since World War II. The clarity of the object, the unity of the people to get that accomplished. I mean, I don't like indiscriminately thinking about casualties, but when we're concerned with the kind of things we are right now, when I compare, I was 9 when World War II started, and I was 13 when it ended. I have a very graphic memory of that time. I know how unified we were, and I know what we did to win that war. We're talking now, I mean, let's face it, Dresden, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the idea was to win the war. We began to get geopolitically bogged down into nonsense. The guys in Korea fought valiantly in a terrible, terrible environment. I did a year in Korea on the DMZ also. They want to call that the forgotten war. The revisionists. They want to call Vietnam the unnecessary war. Logically looking at this thing, you got to say, had we not fought in Korea and in Vietnam, where would Red China would have been way far ahead of what they are right now. We'd be absolutely kowtowing to them right now. I didn't go to Vietnam to fight for Vietnam necessarily. I was in Vietnam to defeat a communist enemy that was trying to create a hegemony in Southeast Asia, and then you still had the Soviet Union going. This is all during the Cold War. We would not have won the Cold War had we not fought valiantly in Korea and in Vietnam. If anybody thinks the Korean War is a forgotten war, ask a Korean War veteran if he forgot. If you want to think Vietnam was unnecessary, ask me, and I can really give you a litany of ideas of why it was very, very necessary. That army that fought in Vietnam, there's a book called Stolen Valor. And in Stolen Valor, it will tell the American public that this was the best army the United States ever fielded in terms of education, the matching of demographic to the total population. It just, that probably gets more bad publicity because of a jaboni like Kurt Carey, who was still lying to the American people. He lied back then during the protests. He lied about his medals. And now he's lying about this climate business. We have to take climate seriously, but it's not a driver. How does anybody think that mankind could be causing the kind of problems predicted by the climate guys when we only been around for just a little while? Earth is billions of years old and has come to the state that it is right now we're insignificant on Earth's timeline. Now, all of these things come together to weaken our nation at a time when it needs to be real strong. I worry about that, which is why I endorsed Trump the first time. And I was like Roger said, I was the first elected official to endorse him. Everybody in Raleigh thought I was nuts, to tell you the truth. I'm endorsing him now because the kinds of toughness that he brings to the table and the experience that he brings to the table says maybe we could solve some of these problems. Does anybody really think that I'm thinking more 20 million illegals are in this country, and a good percentage of them are terrorists. And they're sitting, these people are sitting there saying, oh, come on in, we got more. Now they want me to pay for it. The American taxpayers will be paying for this Biden baloney forever to try to bail it out. How do you, I agree that we should do something. People talk about deportation. I'm not sure that you can, with any kind of logic set, come up with a plan that deports 10 to 20 million people. That takes a lot. You can't just say put them on a bus and send them home.
Right.
Where's home? Where are they going to go? This whole thing is an absolute polyglot of nonsense created by an inept. If you want a good example of what DEI brings to the world, look at the Biden administration. When we get away from the idea that excellence of performance is what counts and get into the idea that, well, let's have diversity be the priority, let's have equity be the priority, and inclusion be the priority, instead of just plain having your stuff together in your kit bag, ready to do your job, you're talking nonsense. You're talking about an erosion of the American culture that will be devastating in the long run. Have I run on long enough, or do you want? I've got more. I could. Huh?
Colonel, your views are correct. Obviously, we agree with them, and it's going to be very interesting for the average viewer to listen to you, Vietnam veteran supporting President Trump. So you haven't run too long, sir. We appreciate you taking the time.
Well, let me get in one more word then. It's not that I'm supporting Trump so much, which I'm doing. It's that I support the United States of America. I believe America first is a good idea. If you don't think making America great again is a good idea, or putting America first is a great idea, go someplace where you want to be.
Right.
Okay, that's the bottom line. And I think that Donald Trump is the one that can stop this nonsense now and hopefully put us in a position to continue to get people with a brain and with the ability to keep our nation free and independent and having the best quality of life ever. We got this quality of life because of what we were, not because of where we're going right now.
Yes,
so there.
Colonel, thank you so much, sir. Senator,
No problem.
We appreciate you joining the team and the endorsement of the president, and keep up the good work in North Carolina, sir.
All I can do is putting stuff on Facebook and hoping somebody reads it and says, well, maybe he's got a good idea there.
Well, your support of the president and our veterans is appreciated, sir.
Well, thank you for letting me get my opinion into the world mix there. You take care.
Take care, Colonel. Bye-bye now.
You too. Bye-bye.